strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is because, what matters is who's listening on the other side. Anyways, today is Tuesday, August the 30th of 2022, day 242 of the year, and only 123 days left to go. Look at the bright side there. That's it. 123 days left to go, and then it is all over with. Oh, man. So exciting when we get to start talking about that kind of stuff. Anyways, how have you been over the last 23? Because that's important. It's important to talk about. It's important to go around and talk and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyways, we are broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues at that other place.
Radio Big.
Yep, hanging out with our friends at RadioBig.fm, doing the stuff that they get to do. Anyways, if I have not said it enough, let me say it again. They are currently, meaning RadioBig.fm, is on iHeartRadio. So if you want to take a listen to the radio station, you can take a listen to it on iHeartRadio. Once you get into their app, just type in Radio Big. That will get you there. The Safety FM side of the house has not changed much. Still, the Safety FM app is the best way to do it, and taking a listen to what exactly is going on over there. Anyways, with that being said, I think it's time for us to start talking right away about what we do in the show. If you want to interact with the show, it's an easy thing to do. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. That will get you moving and grooving through our systems, and will let us know exactly what is going on that particular standpoint. Outside of that, we talk about safety in the news and safety. We bring in some professional broadcasters that start talking about what the hell's going on inside of the world of the news. So that's always kind of a cool time in regards to being able to do that. And then outside of that, I think that's pretty much it. Then we call it a day. We call it a daisy, if one may do so themselves. So there you go. With that being said, I think it is time for us to start talking immediately about what was, that stuff.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Carol Burnett landed on Twitter's top 10 trends on Monday. Fans were scared at first when she had died, but it turns out that she was trending because people want to see her host SNL. So there you go. That's a good thing to hear. Bizarre things to collect was another hashtag that was trending yesterday. Tweets included the heads of childhood Ken dolls, just the heads, sugar packets that you steal from restaurants, do not disturb door hangers, souls, and restraining orders. It's kind of funny. I guess when we get to the last portion, I do have something that I purchased a little bit ago, a autographed restraining order. Yeah, I really do. I really have an autographed restraining order. And for years, I said that I was actually going to frame it, and I still have not framed it. But I was like, when I got that thing, it was a charity event, and it's a real restraining order, which I was like, wow, I can't believe I spent money on this. But it was for charity, so I thought it was a good thing. Anyways, hashtag U.S. Open was trending as tennis fans welcomed back Serena Williams for one last match. Was it one last match or one last tournament? I mean, is she already out? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking the question there. I guess I should keep up with that stuff, especially if I'm going to start talking about the new stuff. So here we go. We're going to do all the stuff that we normally do. We're going to come up with something as we are talking, because that's kind of how it goes about as we do things, and then go from there. Maybe we will talk about, we'll talk about it once we get to it. Maybe we should bring in the pro broadcasters right now, let them do the new stuff, and then we'll just go and trend and move and all that fun things that we need to be doing then. Oh, wow. That did not play at all. That's good.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. Today is the one-year anniversary of the last U.S. military flight out of Afghanistan. The final departure came just days after the then president of Afghanistan, his wife, and senior aides all fled the country as the Taliban took over. The withdrawal brought to an end almost 20 years of American military involvement in that country that began in response to the September 11th terror attacks. President Biden heads to Pennsylvania today to talk about reducing gun violence in the U.S. More from Mark Mayfield.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters that Biden will be promoting his Safer America plan. That includes boosting funding for the FBI and other law enforcement agencies. Some conservative Republicans have called for reducing funding for the FBI after the recent raid of ex-President Trump's Florida estate. Agents retrieved boxes of official documents that Trump removed when he left the White House, including classified materials. I'm Mark Mayfield.
A pregnant Texas woman is facing another ticket after being stopped while driving in the carpool lane on the freeway. Brandy Batone claimed her then unborn child was the second person in her car. She was stopped at the same location after her first citation was dropped. The parent company of InfoWars has agreed to a second defamation trial over founder Alex Jones' false claims about the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School. At a bankruptcy hearing Monday in Houston, Free Speech Systems said it won't oppose the trial in Connecticut. A judge has found Jones liable in a defamation lawsuit for repeatedly calling the 2012 massacre that killed 20 children and 6 teachers a hoax. Several cars have been destroyed by falling trees in Rochester, Michigan due to last night's storm. Mark Zelafro says it was scary.
We were watching the leading edge come in. We saw trees starting to snap in Dinosaur Hill across the street from us. And then we saw branches and leaves flying up in the air in a rotation.
Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Ukraine says it's broken through Russian defences in several sectors of the front line near Kherson. Clashes have continued in Baghdad between Shia militia groups. Pakistan says floods that have ravaged the country have caused at least $10 billion of damage, and emergency teams in China are evacuating tens of thousands of people in areas hit by drought over fears they now face a risk of flooding.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
2 more women are accusing R. Kelly of sexually abusing them when they were teenagers in the 90s. Perry Williams reports.
Both accusers told their own stories yesterday while testifying during the singer's federal trial in downtown Chicago. They both corroborated claims that Kelly sexually abused a woman who has already took the stand. The Chicago R&B star is charged with production of child pornography, conspiracy to produce child pornography, and conspiracy to obstruct justice.
First Lady Jill Biden is testing negative for COVID-19. Trey Thomas reports.
After last week's rebound case of coronavirus, the White House said the First Lady plans to return to Washington, D.C. later on today. She had been in isolation in recent days in Delaware, but did not have re-emerging symptoms. It was her second diagnosis in as many weeks. I'm Trey Thomas.
NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers is admitting he misled the public and the media by saying he was immunized against COVID-19. The latest from Brian Shook.
Appearing on the Joe Rogan podcast over the weekend, the Green Bay Packers said he had been ready for questions about his vaccination status last season and thought about how he'd answer them. Rodgers had claimed he was immunized, but later missed a game due to virus protocols and confirmed he was unvaccinated. He told Rogan he refused the shot due to an allergy to one of the ingredients in it. I'm Brian Shook.
Dozens of alleged gang members in Atlanta are facing charges related to a series of robberies targeting celebrity homes. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis had a message for all those involved.
We are going to find you. We are going to convict you. And we're going to send you to the prison for the rest of your days. And I'm not apologizing for that.
Among those targeted by the robbers, singer Mariah Carey and numerous sports figures. Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
What happened to Philip K. Dick from February to March 1974 would change him forever. For the next 8 years, he attempted to explain in writing his experience of the entire universe transformed into information. Enter the letters, dreams, and journal entries of the mind behind Blade Runner and A Scanner Darkly. Learn the genesis of the Valis trilogy and the stories behind other classic Dick novels. Houghton Mifflin Harcourt is proud to present The Exegesis of Philip K. Dick, edited by Pamela Jackson and Jonathan Lethem. Experience the ultimate quest into a cosmic mystery like no other. Touch genius.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Have you ever wanted to start live streaming and were not sure how to do it? You can start live streaming up to 40 social media platforms all at one time for as little as nada. It's going to cost you your time. That is what it's going to cost. You can pre-record, you can live stream, you can do a multitude of things. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com/one. That's safetyfm.com, O-N-E.
If you ever wished that Facebook had a suck it button, you suck! This rock block is for you. Radio.
Okay, there you go. Currently 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do together. Because it's important when we get to hang out because I feel like we don't get to do it often enough. So that's why I'm here to hang out with you, even if it's in this virtual world environment. Oh, that's a whole other story. Anyway, so let's get into some news here. After the unspecified engine issue scrubbed the launch on Monday for NASA's mission to the moon, NASA isn't committing to rescheduling it yet. There are 2 launch windows identified as early September, but does not appear that NASA has yet committed to either of them. Worth asking if this the result of NASA emphasizing the equity over talent. So maybe that is something to think about as we are talking about this. You know, there was a lot of people telling me yesterday, I was able to interact with quite a few people that were expecting to see this. Now, keep in mind that I don't live so far away from where this is actually, you could actually see it, the launch itself. People got their ass up early to see this yesterday. Now, when I say early, I'm talking early for them, not early for me, because I'm an early riser and not what you're probably thinking. But I'm up relatively early to, get everything running for this thing. So that's kind of part of the gig that goes on. So were you waiting around, waiting to see what was going to happen yesterday? Because that's going to be an important question for you in regards if you were looking forward to it. Anyways, let's continue talking. Lowering water levels along the stretch of the river in northwest Spain have revealed well-preserved details of ancient Roman military camp. The Aquas Quineras camp was home of the 600 soldiers, and its facilitators included barracks, hospitals, a temple, and a grain storage. The camp has also been studied for years, but the receding water levels have exposed the remnants of the buildings in the stunning new details. The camp is believed to have been in use for about a century, beginning back in 75 AD. So think about that. AD, we're going to, AD is something else in regards of a song that I'm thinking. Anyways, with some other news, many models from Kia and Hyundai are prime targets for car thieves because they are relatively easy to steal, so much that in the city of St. Louis is demanding that automakers change this or they're going to sue them. Mayor Jones tells the local NBC affiliate that unless the vulnerable vehicles are recalled or retrofitted with technology to make it harder to steal, she's going to sue them. We're noting another thing is the decrease in car thefts is arresting people who steal cars and putting them in jail for years. Also worth noting, Jones has actively campaigned on defunding the police platforms. So her campaign website notes that defunding the police means restructuring the department and reallocating the budget of the program and resources. So to things like substance abuse and mental health and services and jobs and training programs. So I don't know. Some interesting stuff there for sure as we talk about it, because here's the gig. If you have a car theft going on and you're defunding the police, and I'm just mentioning this to mention it, who do you call? I mean, it's got to be a weird one, because will they have something to allocate for that in regards of what's going on?
Warning. Listening to other radio stations could cause testicle shrinkage.
I'm talking truth. Okay, so there you go. So let's see, what else do we have right here? It's over for the planet. New research cites the Journal of Natural Climate Change says that ice sheets will break off from the glaciers that aren't replenishing their size thanks to warmer temperatures, and cause the sea to rise 10 inches in the coming years. One of the lead researchers says that the world has already 1 foot in the grave, and the rise is inevitable. It is twice as much as was previously predicted. Critics of the study say that while the math is right, their timeline, it's uncertain, and they claim that that will happen in the next 100 years if not supported by even their own data. So there you go. So interesting things there for sure as we are talking about that, because think about that. If you start having rise in the water levels, and if you're in a state like in the state that I'm located, there'll be some interesting times, especially if you're closer to the coast. So that's something to think about for sure. Definitely will not be living on the coastline. So I remember there was a Tool song many years ago talking about the Arizona Bay. Yes, you did hear me correctly. Arizona Bay. Figure that out, especially when we start talking about something like this, for sure.
Always replicated, but never duplicated. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, take a listen to this. Calling all you basic bitches. Yes, you heard me correct. Yeah, but put on your Uggs and Gap hoodies and get in line at Starbucks bright and early today, because the pumpkin spice latte is back. Yeah. You heard me what I said at the very beginning. Starbucks fall menu is in full swing beginning today, and it includes the PCL, yes, as well as known as the pumpkin cream cold brew and the apple crisp Machado. You can also pick up the pumpkin cream cheese muffins and pumpkin scones for the season. So there you go. If you're all excited about that, there you go. Pumpkin spice latte available for you right now. I love how the writers, tell me shit like this, basic bitches. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the pumpkin spice thing, but then again, I'm not a fan of coffee, so I don't really give a crap about any of this. How do you feel about it? Are you already standing in line this morning, or did you already go and get your fix? I mean, all it takes is just one fix, isn't it? I mean, isn't that how the song goes? Anyways, with that being said, let's talk real quick to John Small. in regards of what's going on inside of the Market Beat.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Tuesday, August 30th, 2022. Equities slipped Monday, extending the prior week's decline and putting the S&P 500 on track to move lower later in the week. The index is now below key resistance levels where the bears are likely to increase their selling and add momentum to the move. All the market needs is a catalyst for lower prices, and that could come in the form of economic data. There's a long list of economic reports due this week, including construction spending, the ISM Manufacturing Index, and the August read of the non-farm payroll report, expected to show a cool down in both hiring and wage gains, which takes some pressure off the Fed. Even so, labor conditions remain tight and wages are rising and underpinning broader inflation. In stock news, the market is gearing up for Apple's next product event. The iconic company is expected to launch several new iPhone models among other products and drive another upgrade cycle for the business. The question the market will want to have answered is how expensive are the new phones and how many exactly does the company think they will sell? You can get the inside track at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, John, for that information right there. Always important to listen to what the hell's going on in the market, and you definitely give us a breakdown of what is going on. Anyways, let's talk real quick on what we found on our side. The Dow lost about 184 points to close at 32,098 on Monday. The S&P lost about 27 points to close at 4,030 and lost about 124 points was the NASDAQ composite right there and was about at 12,017 points. West Texas Intermediate traded up just shy of $97 on Monday, and Brent crude was up to $102. The national average price of a gallon of gas was at $3.85 on Monday. Bitcoin picked up about $500 on Monday, trading just around $20,100, and there was 3,069 flight delays within, into, and out of the United States on Monday, and 331 cancellations. So there you go. There you go. And now you know what was going on inside of the world of the market for sure.
Here is another bit for our competitors to copy. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about what was trending according to the charts, according to iTunes and Spotify. So if you're taking a look at both sides of the house, let's start off with some iTunes real quick. At the number 5 spot was David Guetta with I'm Good. At number 4 was Hardy and Lainey Wilson, Wait in the Truck. Hey now. At number 3 was One Republic with I Ain't Worried. And number 2 was Tim Cast, Only Ever Wanted. And at the number 1 spot, according to iTunes, was Elton John and Britney Spears with Hold Me Closer. So there you go. Can you hold me closer? There you go. And then if you take a look at Spotify, this is what they had to say. At number 5 was Lizzo with About Damn Time. At number 4, One Republic with I Ain't Worried. At number 3, Harry Styles, As It Was. At number 2 was Post Malone and Doja Cat with I Like You. And at the number 1 spot was Blackpink with Pink Venom. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of there. I don't know. I always am kind of hung up in talking about music stuff because, number one, as you probably know if you've hung out for some times here, you know that I am a music aficionado here and really love what I do. And on the other side, I just don't know what everybody listens to, so it makes it very difficult to know which ones to talk about. That is for sure.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show. Self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
So let's talk a little bit more about some of the things that are going on out there. Let's talk real quick about Central Iowa's hotels are expecting a big boom in business for the Farm Progress Show in Boone County. Kevin Brook with the Ames Convention and Visitors Bureau says that the event will make a large impact in the local economy.
That fills up Ames, Boone, Des Moines, and we know it'll be a big event.
So there you go, expecting a big event out there, so it'll be interesting to see what actually happens. Anyways, this week there's a heat wave in Ventura County and throughout Southern California is now expected to last longer and be even hotter than the originally thought. Daniel Martindale has more information.
An excessive heat warning starts Wednesday and lasts through Monday and will be in place for the entire region except for the beaches. But even the beaches will be warmer than usual with highs in the 80s. Inland coastal areas will have highs close to 100 degrees, while the valleys and mountains mountains will have highs at more than 100 degrees. Sunday should be the hottest day of all, with Simi Valley expected to hit 105, Fillmore expected to hit 106, and Ojai expected to hit 107. The National Weather Service believes some daily heat records will melt away this week. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Thank you, Daniel Martindale, for that information right there. Anyways, let's jump around a little bit real quick. Take a listen to this. Iowa casinos are getting ready for another big season of football betting. The 18 companies running the sports books in Iowa casinos may get their first real indication this year in what the long-term market is like.
We have 18 companies that are licensed to operate sports betting in this state, and so it really is maybe our first indication of what the market will look like in Iowa for sports betting long term.
So Iowa Racing and Gaming Commission Administrator Brian, let's see if we don't screw up his last name, Orilko, says the casinos across the state brought nearly $140 million from sports betting in last fiscal year. Most of that was online wagering. So the Iowa Racing and Game Commissioner also says that betting market conditions are stable in Iowa.
It's looked at what the current market conditions are and trying to determine whether or not new facilities would generate new revenue or just take from others. It's been a very measured approach that truly has proven, at least to this point, to allow everyone to operate and us to have a very stable market.
Okay, so a lot of stuff going on right there. Take a listen to this. A religious school in the Ventura United School District are in the middle of a legal battle. Daniel Martindale has more info.
Ventura County Christian School is renting the former Washington School site, which is owned by the district. The Christian school says the district recently raised its rent by 300%, and the district allegedly added a clause to the rental agreement that no longer allows the school to hire only Christian teachers. Ventura County Christian School says it can't follow that new requirement because it goes against their religious freedom not to hire teachers who share their same Christian beliefs. The school also says the district is trying to evict them from the campus, citing a study showing some of the old buildings are no longer safe. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Well, that's an interesting contract. How are you going to tell me who I can hire based on because I'm renting your place? Think about that for a second on how crazy that would be in regards of, hey, you live there, or you rent a property and run a business there, but you can only have this kind of worker there. Wouldn't that be kind of a strange thing?
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, take a listen to this real quick. Boston is ranked as one of the rudest cities in the nation. James Rojas has more info.
Coming in as the 5th rudest city in the U.S., 2 of Boston's most common rude behaviors include not acknowledging strangers and not slowing down around pedestrians. That's according to a nationwide survey by Preply. You gotta watch out, right?
Oh yeah, you do. It's very aggressive. You gotta drive aggressive around here.
I find that the pedestrians are the rudest. They're the ones that go into the traffic more often than the drivers not slowing down for them.
Boston with the traffic, that's the problem.
I think Boston's very friendly. As a matter of fact, I think they're very wrong about that.
Meanwhile, Philadelphia takes the #1 spot for rudest city in the country, followed by Memphis, New York City, and Las Vegas. James Rojas, Boston.
I think it's interesting that they say that Philadelphia is the #1 rudest city. I mean, it's kind of an interesting thing. And the reason why I find that interesting is because our radio station of Safety FM gets the most listeners out of Philadelphia. It's not a joke as I say that. So I think it's phenomenal to hear that information right there. Anyways, currently 30 minutes past the top of the hour. Take a listen to this real quick. The Justice Department is revealing a limited set of what could be the attorney-client privilege information was seized in the FBI search of former President Trump's Florida home. Trump's lawyers like James Trusty still want a neutral party, or what they've known as a special master, to sift through the items.
We still need judicial intervention. We need a judge to monitor our access to these documents.
The DOJ says that the FBI seized 11 sets of classified documents that, in addition, another 184 classified documents Trump turned over earlier this year. A federal judge will hold a hearing on Thursday after coming from her preliminary intent to appoint a special master. The director of the National Intelligence will conduct the damage assessment to determine if the former president's storage of material put the country at risk. South Carolina Republican Senator and ally Lindsey Graham is a major has a major backlash.
There will be a lot of upset people if there's an effort to charge President Trump with the crime of mishandling classified information.
Former U.S. Attorney Joyce Vance says the Justice Department is exhausting every avenue in the Trump investigation by revealing the possible attorney-client privilege entertainment. Take a listen to this.
They wanted to address both factual and legal issues.
So there you go. A lot of stuff will be going on right there as we are talking. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. Let's do this one real quick before we go away. So take a listen to this. A new study reveals that an alarming percentage of teenagers throughout Georgia are not physically active. Take a listen to what Liz Kennedy has to say.
Research conducted by the University of Georgia finds that 75% of teenagers are not getting enough exercise, and the lowest levels were found among females in middle and high school. The study's lead author tells UGA Today that social environments can significantly impact a person's physical activity. But on the upside, both genders were more active when the school climate was considered positive among students. Georgia has created recent policies and programs to boost exercise from kindergarten to 12th grade. I'm Liz Kennedy.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's do the things that we do together because it's going to be important to talk about. So listen, I will have to reference this because I find it always interesting that we are consistently looking for new knowledge in one way, shape, or form. I mean, think about it. Day in and day out, the way to live the best life that you can live is by finding out more information, learning things that you don't know, and so on. But here's the fun part. As you seek for more information, as you look for things that you're trying to learn and all that kind of stuff, it could be via classes, via books, via docuseries, whatever you want to talk about. There's only a certain amount of information that you are going to find about a subject matter. It's just normally how it goes, unless you start doing your own research and investigated action and all that kind of fun stuff. So that can become a whole other plethora of things. But what I'm talking mostly about today is when you go out to look about data forms of what we do. So let's give this some consideration real quick. Let's put in mind that you have a favorite safety practitioner or teacher or whatever you want to call them. Let's even go as far as saying an author. And you have followed this author throughout their whole career. Or once you found out about this author, you looked at all of their books, all of the data that was readily available out there. Now, at some point, you are going to come to the realization that there are repetitiveness when you look at the author's books, just kind of how it goes. Or they might have a change on what they believed years ago to what they believe now. Now, here's where I'm having some difficulty, and let me explain to you from where this is coming from. I was taking a look online about how you do these things. I'm on the social media platform known as LinkedIn, and I take a look for a moment, and I realize that there are people out there that are complaining that there are several authors that are out there that have put out books. And then this book will tell you how to do safety the way that they think that safety should be done. And some people have went as far as complaining of that some of the books are repetitive. Now, what you have to keep in mind is these books are not always meant for one target audience. Because if you find a book and you read it now because it just recently came out and never read any of the person's books before, you're going to come to the realization, well, maybe that was a book to be found for that period of time. And I think this is where we get confused sometimes, especially if it's not a continuation book. And I know a lot of the way that some of these safety books are written, they are not put in trilogy standpoints or quartets or however the hell you want to take a look at it in regards to them sequencing together. What they are meant to be most of the times are one-offs. So when you run into this and you see that an author has done this, what do you think of him or her? Do you struggle that they have the same information, not all repetitive, but it has some of the same information? Because I look at this, and let's just use some of the HOP books that are out there. You're always going to have the basis of the foundation of some level of principles. And if you are a good author, those principles will always be portion of what's going on in the book. Because if I was to pick up a book today and have never heard of HOP in particular, how would I know what the foundation is if you don't lay it out to me? And I think that some of us repeat readers that follow authors have a hard time sometimes understanding that. And this goes back to some of the conversations that we've had here before, where sometimes things are repackaged. And it's not that there are not new concepts out there, just sometimes they are repackaged for a different audience. There's really nothing new out there. It's just the packaging has changed. It's the way that it's discussed has changed. And sometimes people have a hard time understanding that. Because, listen, if we talk about HOP in particular, it's been around for a little over 30 years at this point. So, yes, if you look at the basics, even if you go to the first fundamental documents, you will realize that they're exactly the same to some of the stuff that's taught today. Just some of the wording has changed. Now, listen, am I saying we should go back to the original documents from 30 years ago? No, that's the thing. As you progress, things change slightly. And listen, I'm not out there defending authors. I have no authors. We don't put out books here. I mean, well, besides our little ebooks that we put on Safety FM Plus. But that's the thing. Things will change. Things will need to be repeated. And if you ever notice inside of a book, and I'll reference this, they repeat the same concepts over and over again in most books. If you go to a platform that's known as Blinkist, and well, not a sponsored spot here, but I'll just give this to you as a reference. Most of the books that they have on Blinkist are 15 minutes or less. And what they do is just take the core concepts that's inside of the book that do not have repetitiveness. And believe me, they normally don't do fiction books or anything along those lines. They take that information and give it to you. That way you have the core concepts of the book. Most people learn by repetitiveness. And that's what you tend to see from time to time on the things that are out there. So keep that in mind as we are talking this morning. What do you think about authors that repeat the same things? Do you look at it and go, oh, they just don't know what they're doing? Or do you look at it and go, there might be more here than what I originally thought? Maybe that's something to think about today as we are talking.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
The Work Wise Summit is an interactive 2-day gathering that will bring like-hearted leaders together like never before as we discuss ways to better align HR, safety, and operations around one common goal: creating the future of work together. Day 1 will focus on self-performance with talks with leading experts on how to live and lead at our best. Day 2 will focus on organizational performance with discussions on what we can do together to break down silos and foster action. The Work Summit will take place at Coker Tire Museum in Chattanooga, Tennessee on Thursday, September the 22nd and Friday, September the 23rd. For more information, go to workzbe.com/Y-Summits. That's WORKZBE.com Y-Summit.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
It's a new year, but it's feeling harder than ever to find and hire qualified people you need, especially for small businesses. That's where LinkedIn Job comes in. They make it easier to find people you want to talk to faster and for free. You can create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of the most qualified people. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number 1 in delivering qualified hires versus leading competitors. I have to tell you that we have used LinkedIn Jobs to even find some of the people that we have here at Safety FM. LinkedIn Jobs can help you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your jobs for free on linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to tell them that you heard it right here on Safety FM.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. I wonder, would you love me better if I go? I'm not home. I wonder.
Okay, there you go. 44 minutes past the top of the hour. This right here is Tira Channing. This song's called Transits. It's readily available on Spotify and iTunes, in case you were wondering. You can give it a little downloady-ody if you wanted to. So there you go. Yeah, you know, I really wish sometimes if we didn't do the social media stuff, where we could go a little bit heavier on some of the song stuff, because I will tell you, we could probably do some drops inside of there that would make things a little bit different as we are talking. Anyways, before I forget, are you doing anything this Labor Day weekend? Like, do you have anything planned in particular? Anything special coming to mind? Do you have all 3 days off? Because that's going to be the other side. I know that some people are not able to have all 3 days off, but if you are having the third day, are you doing anything special? Are you planning that out? Or are you already kind of looking on how you can bail out early this week and go from there? I mean, I get it. I understand. I totally get it. Anyways, let's talk real quick about the most important thing that I will tell you at any point during the show, because I think that that's going to be important for us to talk about and discuss right now. And let me tell you about my friends at the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. They are a national network of local crisis centers that provides free and confidential emotional support to people in suicidal crisis or emotional distress 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the United States. They are committed to improving crisis services and advancing suicide prevention by empowering individuals in advancing professional best practices and building awareness. If you want to find out more information about what they're doing, all you have to do is go to 988lifeline.org or text the word TALK to 988, or go to the chat box. It's on the website as well, or you can just dial 988. listen, I believe that at any point in your lifetime, you can use these services or need these services, so don't go too far away from them, because it's always a good practice to be able to have them if you need to do that, in that particular regard. So keep that in mind as we are talking. That way we have the information always readily available as needed. Let's get into some more news about some things that are going on out there. So last week we talked about grass being greener, so this one really kind of ties in. The grass is not always greener. Listen to this. I love this idea. Residents of Sweden's largest island have been competing to determine who has the ugliest lawn. The contest is an effort to the municipality of Gotland to promote water conservation. After the island saw a record-breaking number of visitors last summer, local politicians realized the drastic changes that were needed to save the water supplies. So the ugliest lawn contest was created to remind islanders not to waste water and to talk about ways that they can adapt their yards. The winner, Marcus Nordstrom, whose yard was playfully described as judges as a really lousy lawn that lives up to our expectations of Gotland's ugliest lawn. They pointed out that the prize-winning yard demonstrates, just meteorized laziness and great care of the common groundwater. Nordstrom rewards for this lack of effort is a visit to the gardener's judge, Sarah Gissett, who will offer personalized advice on the plants to grow in place grass in the future. However, the group of local dogs said that the organization's protest. So there you go. And have you ever heard about something that felt as though that you were finally found your true calling? This might be it. I have to tell you, because I never understand this. If there's issues with water conservation, why don't people just do similar to what goes on like in Arizona, where you have the gravel yards, where the yards are consistently most of gravel and people are okay with that? Because it's always one of those questions that come up and you go, well, maybe that would make the most logical sense if you kind of went around and did that. I mean, just something to think about as we are talking. Talking about Arizona real quick, let's talk about Did You Know? Arizona State University recently announced the name of a new multi-purpose facility that will temporarily host the NHL's Phoenix Coyotes. And it sounds like the type of place that could host a real party in the back. The Mullet Arena. Yeah, its name is recognized as the Donald and Barbara Mullet, who have been strong advocates for the growth of hockey in the state. The Coyotes are set to play their first game in the Mullet Arena on October the 28th when they host the Winnipeg Jets. Either way, the coolest or uncoolest arena name in the league. So there you go. If you want to go to the Mullet Arena, I guess you'll have the opportunity to do so. Anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and bring in some John Smalls real quick and let him tell us about what's going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Chris. Edgar Allan Poe said, "To die laughing must be the most glorious of all glorious deaths." I would say so. It's kind of a dark subject, though, to talk about death, but that really is part of life. I just spoke with a dear friend last week. He shared some sad news that his wife of over 50 years has entered hospice. He went on to say, "She's sad to leave me behind, but she told me she's excited to leave the pain behind as she takes a step into heaven." What a beautiful way to handle the whole situation. I'm sad for my friend and for his loss. I know that will be a difficult time, no matter who you are and no matter what you believe. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. The first thing you need to know about temptation is that being tempted is not a sin, no matter how unclean it may make you feel. Nor should you ever feel guilty for being tempted. If Jesus was not above temptation, then how can we expect to be immune to it? There are some things we can do to minimize its power, but we will never totally escape it. With the Lord's help, we can resist temptation and live a victorious life, but we'll never be immune to it. 1 Corinthians 10 says, God is faithful. When you are tempted, He'll show you a way out so that you can endure. Lord, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. In your holy name we pray. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing, And an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. A lot of stuff still going on right now. Currently 51 minutes past the top of the hour. At the top of the hour, of the next hour, that is, we will be going over exclusively to RadioBig.fm if you want to come and hang out and do the stuff that we do over there. We take a couple hours, play some music, talk about some stuff that's going on inside of the world of entertainment, so that you're more than welcome on coming out, hanging out, and doing all of the stuff that you want to do over there. Take a listen to this real quick. Two dead in a White Lake drowning and a third person in critical condition. A Long Island man and his brother-in-law are dead, and the third family member is in critical condition following a drowning at the New York Lake. These members are in shock after hearing the deaths that had occurred. Take a listen to this.
They're really nice people. It's sad. It's crazy to hear this.
We cannot even think like this is really happening.
So let's see. Police say that Hayter was swimming on Sunday at the White Lake in Sullivan County when he started to struggle. His brother and sister-in-law, Basir Amin in Belrose and Nassim Armin, tried to save him, but state police say that the three went underwater. Hayter and Basir Amin both died, and Nassim Amin remains in critical condition. So there you go. Some crazy stuff out there going on inside of the lake. So be careful, I guess, is what could one say at this particular moment. I don't know what else to say. So anyways, let's continue talking about some other stuff that is going on inside of the world. Take a listen to this. Several cars have been destroyed by falling trees in Rochester, Michigan due to last night's storm. Take a listen to this.
We were watching like the leading edge come in. We saw trees starting to snap in Dinosaur Hill across the street from us, and then we saw branches and leaves flying up in the air like in a rotation.
So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there. Take a listen to this one. An investigation continues into the shooting of a 5-year-old boy and his family over the weekend in Chicago's North Side. Chicago Police Superintendent David Brown says the department won't rest until the person who shot Devin McGregor and his father is found.
The entire city, along with our department, is praying for a full recovery, but the child is in critical condition.
With that being said, the child and his father were shot while riding in a vehicle on Sunday in the 7600 block of North Paulina Street. A $3,000 reward is being offered for information that leads into the arrest of the shooter. So there you go. Some stuff going on there for sure. Anyways, loved ones are remembering the family of 6 from the Rolling Meadows that was killed in a wrong-way crash last month on I-90. The sister of Thomas DeBow spoke yesterday during a funeral service that was held for Thomas, his wife Lauren, and their 4 children. This is coming out of Chicago.
We would like to thank God for giving us Thomas, Lauren, Emma, Lucas, Nicholas, and Ella, and for giving us the time we had.
So a lot of stuff going on there. The family was on their way on a vacation on July the 31st and collided head-on with a vehicle going the wrong way. A 13-year-old friend traveling with the family and the wrong-way driver were also killed during the wreck. So there you go. Some stuff going on there for sure. Take a listen to this one. Mayor Lori Lightfoot is appointing a group of community leaders in the city civilian police accountability commission. The mayor announced yesterday the interim commissioner to serve the 7-person community commission for public safety and accountability.
You have the absolute ability to start your own process of restoring legitimacy to the police oversight system writ large in the city.
So the CCPSA is part of the ordinance that was passed by the city council last year that creates a new model for police oversight, accountability, and public safety. And an interim commission will serve until the district council members are elected next February. So there's still quite a bit of time before you see anything coming out from over there. So keep that in mind as we are talking as well.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk real quick about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2020, global cases of COVID-19 passed 25 million and over 843,000 deaths. That happened back on this date, back in 2020. Taking a look around real quick at some birthdays that are going on today. Dwayne Bacon turns 27, Ryan Ross 36, Andy Roderick turns 40, Cameron Diaz turns 50 today, and Warren Buffett turns 92. That's some rough birthdays that are going on right now. If you're looking for a day to celebrate, well, we got some of those to do today. It's National Toasted Marshmallow Day. Yes, that is a day. International Whale Shark Day and National Grief Awareness Day. So there you go. A nice little combination of things to take a look at if you're so inclined to do so. So there you go. Anyways, what else do I have for you before I get you the hell out of here? Let's take a look real quick. Do you need a random joke for today? Well, I got one for you. Drunk people's children in leggings always tell the truth. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What word or saying from the past do you think should come back? Please don't say that's pretty heavy. If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. In a survey, adults were asked about their childhood dream job, and this career came in at number 1. What is it? Most people wanted to be this. They wanted to be a teacher. Yeah, a teacher. Not a joke there, as I'm saying that. So there you go. That's what it is. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together. Like I said, if you want to come over to radiobig.fm, you're more than welcome on doing that. If not, you can hang out here on Safety FM and take a listen to what's going on. Listen, there is a Safety FM app that's readily available in the Google Play Store and in the Apple App Store. There's also a Radio Big app on both of them as well, if you want to do that. And we're both available as Alexa skills on top of that. And you can find us inside of the multiverse of things that we get to do, because that's always some fun times to do so. Anyways, thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, we could not do what we do around here. I mean, really give that some thought, because it will make sense in the long run. Anyways, if I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. The best way to love someone is not to change them, but to help them reveal the greatest version of themselves. Think about that. The greatest version of themselves. Wouldn't that be an interesting one? Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing